Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new edition of Them Betting Fools. I'm your host, Yung Nevz, here with Cowboy Homer C Money and 1 in 15 Carolina Panther fan, Johnny Norberg. How's it going, bub?
That came quick, man. Panther shit talking.
Well, we got a lot to talk about. We haven't been on for a while, kind of life getting in the way, but we're going to talk about NFL MVP, NFC playoff picture, talk about what team maybe that no one's talking about that can make a run at the Super Bowl. But we will start with MVP. We'll start with who you guys think is the front runner. I'll go with you, C Money, first. Who do you think is your NFL MVP right now?
Well, first, I'm going to say cheers to you.
Howdy.
I'm a farmer. Farmer's out here ready.
Oh, yeah.
Got
Can't
it.
do this without a cheers. Yeah.
Actually, a really good beer.
I got my buddy's grease. It's the only thing I had with me. Some grease. Goodness
Nice.
here.
Some Nebraska grease. I like it. Oof, that looked tough.
All right.
So, C Money, MVP.
MVP.
Who you got?
Yep.
Well, obviously, it seems like the league nowadays, everybody wants to pick the quarterbacks, and pretty much whoever gets number one seed quarterback, they want to go with that route. So right now, everybody's talking about Purdy, Dak, Jalen Hurts, all those QBs. I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to go with Mr. CMC. I think Johnny Boy knows who that is. Pretty sure the Panthers traded him for a bag of Doritos.
That's right.
Not far. Yeah.
Since they made that trade last year, it seems like they've just taken off to another level, and it just gives them, whole dynamic of he catches out of the backfield and everything. So it just makes everything easier for the Niners. Obviously, we know what Purdy can do, but just make things more simple for him. And just seems like when he's going, the Niners offense is rolling. So for me, just seems he's leading the league in touchdowns, receiving and rushing. So to me, just obviously you could go Hill, you could go quarterbacks, but for me, Niners are the best team, and CMC is their MVP. So that's my pick.
CMC with the pick. Johnny, what do you got? Who you got for MVP?
So I agree with him. There's usually a quarterback that gets taken here, but because it's so weird this year, like all these quarterbacks have had they're above average years, but there's nobody really sticking out like a normal year, like Rodgers or Mahomes, that are like statistically way above everybody else. No, I didn't even. Did I mention him? No, he's not.
Wait, Dak's not a candidate for MVP right now.
You didn't pick him?
Well, he's a candidate. I don't think anybody's sticking out, though. I don't think
there's a lot of candidates.
They're not having crazy numbers.
Yeah, there's no quarterback that's like this guy's hands down. And I think along your point, like CMC, he's good, but to say most valuable on that stacked team is there's a lot of people on that team that are good. But one person that stands out, I think the MVP should be someone that's having a once in a lifetime season, and someone that can do that this year is Tyreek. He could be the first one to he's on pace for 2,000 yards. First time ever for a wide receiver. No wide receivers ever won the MVP, so it's a little shot in the dark here. But I mean, if anybody can do it the way he's been playing, he's the one. He's the guy that can do it for sure. And if you talk about most valuable, if he's not on that team, who knows what's going on? Who knows how good Miami is? So I think Tyreek's the man this year. First ever wide receiver MVP.
I like it. I'm gonna have to fact check you. I thought Jay Rice had an MVP. I could be wrong. If I am, then Niner fans will probably come at me for that. But I hate to agree with you on things, but I'm gonna have to agree with you with Tyreek. CMC, he's obviously great, but I still think Niners make playoffs if they have Elijah Mitchell and not CMC. I think Jalen Hurts, maybe with Philly would still make the playoffs with a backup. I don't know. That's actually very difficult. Purdy with Darnold, if Darnold was quarterback, I don't think Niners are as good, but I think that Niners would find a way to make the playoffs. They have that. Everybody's good. So I'm going to go with Tyreek because, like you said, on pace for 2,000 yards, on pace with 20 touchdowns. Now, Does he need to get 20 touchdowns and 2,000 yards for him to get the MVP? I don't know, but I don't think Miami makes the playoffs if they don't have Tyreek Hill. Like, he's that explosive. Like, he can run a slant and take it 80 yards to the crib. We just saw it last weekend against Redskins. And he changes the game. You know, it makes Tua look really good. Miami doesn't have a great defense. They have a good defense with Jalen Ramsey. So they have a chance to get that number 1 seed, and a lot of it is Tyreek and everything he's doing. And you want to know why I know all that? Because, listen, boys, I got him on my fantasy team. So, hey, what can you do? Everyone just gave me a ton of crap for drafting him. CB, talking to you, bub. You're chipping off your boy. Well, guess what? Pretty good pick, huh?
Hey, I do give her respect because I remember before the fantasy season, I was like, "Who are you taking?" He was like, "You're gonna laugh. I'm taking Tyreek," and then I was just like, "You're an idiot. Like, what are you doing? Take over that early?"
Yeah, man.
I mean,
I was pissed because I wanted him at 6.
Did it?
And you were talking about getting him at 1. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, dude, yeah. I mean, Tyreek's just a game changer, and he's only 29. He is getting into his, he's going to be 30, and he's not going to be fast forever. But when it comes to this year, he has 12 touchdowns right now, almost 1,500 yards already. And, yeah, I mean, he just changes the game. That team doesn't make the playoffs, like I said, unless, Tyreek's not on that team. I don't think they make playoffs. But Mike McDaniel,
yeah, and he takes so much attention from the defense too. The defense has to worry about him all the damn time. Like, it's crazy. And then on top of that, he's like, I think it was 484 yards from beating Calvin Johnson's record. I think there's no way he doesn't beat that.
Yeah,
let alone. So he's setting the single season record for sure.
He's going to get an extra game to do it. But
yes.
The thing about him, it seems like with Mahomes, everybody said, well, let's see what he does without Mahomes. Let's see what he does with Tua's weak arm, supposedly. But he's so wide open that I think every quarterback, even Brock Purdy, I think, could throw downfield and probably hit it to him. So
and Mike McDaniel,
Brock Purdy,
a lot of has to take a shot at BP, but those pre-snap when he's motioning too, the defense, you said, Norberg, defense just has to account for him, and it's too much. It opens up lanes for Mostert, Waddle to get open, and you can't game plan for that guy. But hey, we'll move on. MVP is going to be Tyreek. Anyways, we'll go to the NFC playoff picture. Our predictions of who we think is going to come out of the NFC, and we'll kind of just elaborate on who we think is going to come out and who maybe has a chance to upset. Norberg, who is your favorite in the NFC right now, or who do you think is going to ride to the Super Bowl?
I mean, honestly, I know you're the one that comes up with these questions and you just want some praise for the Niners over here, but it's hard to not pick the Niners, It's like, I know.
You got this on smiling, waiting for you to pick.
As I drink my wine. Like, I know the Niners are getting said here at some point. It's on record now that I have to say the Niners are good. But, I mean, how do you doubt these guys? Like, Philly going in, especially after that Philly game last week, like, it was just embarrassing for Philly. Like, Philly, I had my thoughts about them being the top, but then after that last week, they just came in and dominated them. And I actually loved watching it. I love seeing the Phillies fans mad. I love seeing everything. Like, they came in and dominated every way they could have. So it's hard to imagine, honestly. Yeah, I mean, so I hope we delete this at some point. But yeah, for now, I'll say the season Niners. I know. I'm just gonna
Cowboys Niners at the top this season, and you guys are down there with no draft pick.
Don't worry, your Cowboys time's coming. You'll be disappointed soon.
See, Money, is it Homer biased? Are you going to pick your Cowboys? Who do you have coming out of the NFC?
All right. Well, look at the 3 teams, obviously, that are at the top. Niners, I'd say maybe their weakness would be, I guess you would say Purdy with his I guess experience, just because he's only played in, I think, one real playoff game so far.
Yep.
That would be the question mark probably going in, is will he continue to throw great slant routes and screen passes? And if he does, then, they're probably set. But Eagles, we knew going in that their defense seems to be kind of the problem right now. With Cowboys, seems to be the running game is the problem, which I still think there's time for them to figure it out. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys. The one thing that the Cowboys have that they don't have is Dak Dude, with Nevz all off season telling me that he's done and this and that. I told him, look at the stats. You picked one outlier after he broke his hand. You went with that. Now you're paying the price for it. And now even everybody's doing the little twist, the Dak twist.
This guy's dancing.
He's got a history of taking a dump, though, in these big situations. I don't know.
Hey, who have the Cowboys faced in the last 6-7 games with a shaky Eagles defense? And that schedule has been atrocious. It's been, who'd you guys play? Carolina. You played Giants twice.
Does it matter who's over there with Dak dudes balling?
Dude, it's been a very favorable schedule for Dak Prescott.
They're going to get exposed. They're going to get exposed the next few weeks for sure.
Give Dak some confidence like this and watch what happens, fellas.
I will agree. He does ride off confidence, and you know, he has been top 10 quarterback this year, if not possibly probably a top 5 quarterback this year, not overall. I'm saying this year, and I stayed persistent on that. And I give him his flowers. Like I said, top 5 quarterback this year, even though the shaky schedule. I mean, you still got to play NFL teams. Like, this is the NFL. So props to him. A good O-line, very good weapons. Running game hasn't been there, but Jake Ferguson's going to turn in. He's probably already a number 1 tight end. Of course, you have CD. Brandon Cook's a good complimentary player. Gallup kind of sucks, but whatever. He's overrated. I like that contract. But yeah, no, it's worked out well. Mike McCarthy's been a really good play caller, and that defense gives you short fields. So you combine that, hey, Dak's been really good. But
you know, with that play calling you were saying before, once they started throwing CD Lambs away, look what's happened ever since. So
yeah,
looks like they kind of figured it out.
Yeah, and they're McCarthy's been aggressive, so you can't hate on it. But of course, I'm going to go Niners. They're the team to beat. No weaknesses. Purdy does have to prove it. The experience, yeah, definitely.
No weaknesses, huh? What about kicking game?
Oh, so hey, if there has to be a weakness, Jake Moody has to prove it in crunch time. I did say to somebody the other day, I was like, you know what? It's going to come down to a Jake Moody kick.
Yeah,
it really is.
And how confident are you going to be?
Not confident. Like, prove it to me first, you know? And the secondary kind of worries me because of the injuries and whatnot, the depth, but that D-line just gets to the quarterback. You face a good O-line like Cowboys, it's not going to be like 42-10 last year. But if Cowboys Niners do meet, Cowboys are my number 1 team that I do worry about. Like, for as much mess as I talk, you know, Cowboys match up well. I still think we win, but it's a close game. And in playoffs, you just never know what can happen. You know, it's one game. It's, you know, who's going to not turn the ball over. And, you know, I do like the Lions as well. They're a physical team. Physical teams matter when it's cold. It matters when, you know, you're going on the road or if you're just going to play complimentary football. So Purdy, like you said, he has had one game. But no, across the board, it's obviously Niners. It's Super Bowl or bust, Super Bowl win or bust. It's not even getting to Super Bowl. It's just winning it all. So barring injury,
yeah,
it's Niners to take.
We'll see how Cowboys do the next few weeks too. They got Philly, Buffalo, Miami, and Detroit left, and then they got Washington in this season. But like, those are 4 tough games right there. So they could get exposed, or they could be favorites going into the postseason. Who knows?
Yeah, I think this game against Eagles will tell a lot Sunday night. I know, Johnny, you probably haven't been watching much. I think you haven't been watching much football lately, and I understand why. But in case you're not busy on Sunday, take a peek.
You know what?
I think Cowboys are going to win this weekend, though, for sure. Phillies can be kind of beat down. I think they played like did they have a Thursday night game too? Like, so they play a lot in like 12 days. And
yeah,
I think Cowboys have
Cowboys had some extra days off because of the Thursday night game. So we got a week and a half to prepare for these jokes.
Yeah. Imagine being a bettor for this game. It's really tough because you got Philly that 3 games in like 14 days or something like that. And then they had a schedule of Buffalo, Cowboys, Niners, played somebody else. And like you get Cowboys again. And it's like, are they going to come out because they got embarrassed and just play some ball? Or is it just going to be too much for them in that span of time and Cowboys play really good at home? It's a tough game to bet on.
I think it's 14 in a row at home. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But no matter who you're playing.
You know what? I'm not saying
Yeah.
this to be biased against C Money's Cowboys. I do think Eagles win on Sunday. I think it's just one of those games like, and plus Cowboys have 14-game win streak. Like it's going to be broken like that. It's unheard of to have those type of win streaks nowadays. And Eagles playing with a little chip on their shoulder. I think it's a very close game.
It's all right. Dak's listening.
Yeah.
He's heard you all year and he's ready to go.
All right. One over under 1.5 interceptions from Dak. I'm going to go over.
He's gonna have 2 interceptions.
I'm going to say 2. I'm going to say he has 2. I think Eagles just
I don't even
played
know if he's thrown a pick since Niner game.
Yeah, well, that's because your schedule. Am I?
I'm
am I
trying to see
wrong?
the line right.
Am I wrong? Are you looking at the line?
I think
I'll just look at the
Cowboys
line.
were 3-point favorites, I believe, 3.5, something like that.
3.5, yeah, 3.5, which is about pick 'em.
It'll
Get
be a
their 3
close game.
points for home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on. Okay, our last topic is who's a team in the NFL that you guys think no one's really talking about or maybe overlooking? Everyone just talks about 49ers, Eagles, Cowboys, Chiefs a little bit. But who's a team that you guys think is kind of just under the radar, looking to take off and make a good postseason run? I will start with you, C Money.
I'm gonna go with the team that nobody's talking about in the NFC. I don't know how you're 9-3, 5-1 on the road, and nobody talks about you. And as hungry as they got to be, they haven't been there in a long time. Campbell's got them fired up every week. I think he kind of likes to be under the radar, and I think that's where he wants his team to be, so they could, they're going to be on the road more than likely, trying to get to the Super Bowl. So being confident on the road is big. I know there's 3 teams ahead of him that they got to get past, but I would facing them. I would know they'd be coming in hungry, trying to beat us. So I think they can make some noise and possibly surprise some people.
All right, so you have Detroit Lions, Norberg. Is there any team on your mind that can fly under the radar?
I mean, I've heard a lot of NFC teams, which means it's going to be tough to pick one. So AFC is pretty much wide open in my eyes.
Especially with the injuries.
And one team, yeah, exactly. And then one team that is scary, I think, is Buffalo. Like, they're 6-6, but if you want to talk about the absolute true MVP of the year, is Josh Allen. There is no way that Buffalo is anywhere. They wouldn't win a game without Josh Allen. That guy is a stud, and there's no way nobody can argue that. That team is like
he's got
it's been up
weapons
and
and
down
he's
all
throwing the ball
year.
to the other team.
They don't have a run game
team,
though.
but
They don't have a run game.
Their run game is not
Cowboys?
good. Their receivers haven't been going for balls.
better.
Like they have the players, but they haven't been performing the way they should. But nobody wants to face those guys in the playoffs. Like, you're talking about most valuable player, Josh Allen is it, and like nobody wants to go see Buffalo. And because the AFC is wide open, like there's a good chance they could throw a string of 4 games together and shock the world.
They do have Von Miller too, and that's actually a really good pick because a lot of people, I'm sure Josh Allen, obviously he's not going to get MVP because of the turnovers, but they're so self-reliant on him. They don't have a running game. See Money says Cowboys, you guys have a good O-line though. Buffalo's O-line, it's good. It's not great, in my opinion. I mean, I don't watch a ton of Buffalo, so I'm not going to sit here and act like it, but from hearsay and what I have seen on like national stage games, they're just too self-reliant on Josh Allen. They need a running back. They're the ones that should have got like a Derrick Henry or at least somebody that's better than James Cook. He's a small body. You need a big body in the postseason, especially in the cold. So
we'll see. Yeah. They got a good D though too, and that D is tough to beat either way. They can show up at any time, like, and make it hell for the other offense.
Yeah, they do got Von Miller still, and that matters. My team that I'm picking,
maybe we'll see. He's playing this week. Is he playing this week? He had his domestic violence thing too.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I think it's kind of up in the air with that. I don't know the situation, but
if Josh Giddey's still playing, then I'm sure Von Miller could play.
Oof.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to go off topic, but you guys are making multi-million dollars. Even if Giddey didn't know, or like, I'm not gonna make an excuse for him, but if like, how do you not know, man? What are we doing here? Just not good. But we'll shift to my pick for the team that I think is going under the radar. And I'm going to go NFC. I'm going to go Green Bay Packers. Yes, the Green Bay Packers that beat Detroit in Detroit on Thanksgiving. Yes, the Green Bay Packers that just beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday night. Jordan Love coming into his own. Aaron Jones gets injured. AJ Dillon is a big back, but the running game isn't crazy good. It's probably average. But, you know, when they have Christian Watson and everyone healthy on that offense, playing some good ball, man. And yeah, man, it's their defense too. Like they got rid of Rasul Douglas that went to Buffalo. It seemed like they were selling to maybe get a draft pick, but Packers just develop well. And a lot of us, I'm sure most of us, maybe all of us can say that we probably ourselves deep down gave up on Jordan Love through the first 5 or 6 games, but that's kind of like preaching to the choir. Like, you know, we still got to be patient in the NFL. Like these guys that play quarterback, like give them some time. Like we're so quick to judgment. Like even Cowherd said, like Jordan Love's already done. And you hear all these guys, it's like a week to week basis, like already making these judgments. And Jordan Love's playing ball and he looks like he might just be the real deal. Yeah, I like Packers a lot. They're just a team you might not want to face. And I mean, they showed they can go into Detroit and win, and they can beat Kansas City at home. So
You know, I'm sick and tired of seeing the Packers good. I just want one year where they're at the bottom of the league. I'm tired of titty smacks enjoying every year, going from QB to QB.
yeah, you got Favre, you got Rodgers, and now you got Jordan Love. And not only that, now they got a receiver again, Christian Watson. He stays healthy, and Jaden Reed's good. He's been a good pickup. Luke Musgrave, who's injured right now, but if he comes back, it's another weapon. Now, I know Aaron Jones is out for the year, but you still have AJ Dillon as well, and it's sky's the limit. And they're playing with house money. If they go into the game thinking, "Hey, man, we got nothing to lose. Let's play freely," it can make it very difficult depending on the matchup.
True.
Well,
We got one more
well,
topic.
we're gonna talk about Carolina a little bit, Johnny. We have to have intervention. Bryce Young could have drafted
Knew this
CJ
was coming.
Stroud. I'm sure C Money has a lot to say.
Oh, I do.
I'm gonna let him take it.
Johnny boy.
No,
I can't believe you come on here with that Carolina Panthers jersey after what's going on this year.
Wait,
from
who
the
is
owner.
that, by the way? Who's
Yeah,
whose jersey is that?
who could that
Jeremy
be?
Chin, Jeremy Chin.
Oh,
Think about this for just a second here, though. From the owner to the GM to the coaches to the players to the garbage fans like you, they trade
the card.
DJ Moore and then say that they need a receiver. They trade up and pass on CJ Stroud and pick the short Bryce Young, who's inaccurate. And anyways, they do that. Then with the QB studded draft coming in, they don't even have a draft pick.
Oh,
And I forgot to say my MVP CMC. Who did they trade him for? What, like a 6th and 7th rounder?
we got
What'd
a
you guys-
second,
what'd you guys
third, and
pick with
fourth.
that?
Second,
you
third,
pick?
and fourth, I think, and a
Okay.
fifth.
A second?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong.
I
I'll double
think-
check that. I
think
thought it was
like
a second,
fourth,
third.
5th, and 7th or something.
It could
like
be.
that. Yeah.
It could be.
But we just want to know, what do you have to say for yourself? How do you wake up on Sundays?
If I had to say anything, David
What gives you the
Tepper,
motivation to wake
if you're
up and turn the
listening,
TV on?
if you're listening, David Tepper, please, God, sell the team. That comment that he made about Bryce Young and CJ Stroud was probably the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. He's just like, well, we wanted to take shit. It's just, as far as I knew, CJ Stroud was our pick.
Dude.
And you're just like,
How
what a
does
fucking
how does
moron.
Bryce Young feel right after that?
Yeah, he's an idiot. Like, I've never seen anything like it. Like, it's just pure entertainment value. I've never one time in my life gave up on a team, but I gave up pretty quickly. Like, I mean, it's especially after hearing that, it's like it's hard for me to watch. Like, I still watch, but I still think even when we're 4 games out with 4 games left that we're going to make the playoffs any other year. But it's just like, from after the 4th game, and by the way, after 4 games, we were ahead in the 3rd quarter in the first 4 games. We were starting well, and then we were just pooping in the 4th quarter. So there was hope and then just like down, down, down. Tepper, he's getting involved when he shouldn't. He should just stay up there. Him and his freaking whoever it is, sister, wife, whatever the hell. They're just making all these decisions for no reason. Like, just leave the football to the football and then go back and do your business, whatever. But it's a nightmare what's going on there right now.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? Bryce Young over CJ Stroud, okay. Like quarterback's tough to judge. Like, and Bryce Young, okay. We can live with
time,
that.
maybe. Give him some time.
Yeah, but I don't even understand the free agency moves. Adam Thielen is like already 33, 34 years old. He might be even 35. I'm not positive. But you give him a 3-year deal.
Oh, he was leading the league in receptions up till like
but he's getting
ago.
older as a wide receiver. Like, why are you giving him? He makes like $13 million a year. I think he got like a 3-year, $36 million deal.
We don't care about money. That's what money.
And then even Miles Sanders, like I know hindsight's 50-50, 20, whatever you want to call it. But Miles Sanders, like coming out of Philly, like I don't understand. Why are you paying a running back? Like, and I'm not saying this to talk mess. I just don't understand the moves. I don't. The defense isn't terrible, but
Sanders had a good year last year, and he seemed like he was somebody that could come in and do that. And with Deuce Staley, we had as our running backs coach, like that guy was a stud in his time. Like, and then we just dumped him as quick as we possibly could too.
Maybe it's me being a Niner fan. I don't believe in paying running backs. Like obviously McCaffrey, like okay, like maybe that's the outlier if you're top 5, but that's where the league's going, where they just don't want to pay running backs anymore. Give them a 1-year deal, and they gave Miles Sanders a good contract too. So, I mean, like I said, we can judge all day.
Every Sunday, getting an L and knowing that on draft day you're not going to be there. Well, that's
really bad. That too. It's not even the pick of Bryce Young. It's dude. What are the moves after that?
Is this thing over yet, or what? Are we over?
Man, I hate to dump on Carolina, but I don't understand it from a football perspective, man.
Hey, guess what? Somehow we were only one. It was a 1-possession game in the fourth quarter versus the Cowboys. Somehow with those Panthers. So
Panthers
take
have
that as you will.
Defense. Their defense isn't terrible.
Our defense is still solid. Yeah,
it hasn't been really bad.
Cowboys could barely take us, even though we lost by 23. It was 1 possession, 17-10 in the fourth quarter. So just hold on to that one.
I think when teams go to Carolina, they go to Myrtle Beach and they go play golf before the game, and then they barely pull out victories.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Perfect timing, boys.
I think we're over.
Yeah. About the Tar Heels this year. Tar Heels, baby.
Something to look forward to. Well, hey, then Ben Fools it's been a good talk. Way to debate. Cheers to
back.
Crowd.
Ben Fools back.
Tawny to the Braves.
Tawny to Giants.
Grease. Cheers.
Cheers, boys. All right. Have a good one. Come on.